And if you're just joining us, this is Report Desk Africa on News Central Television. We're going straight to West Africa now, particularly coming here to Nigeria. And we're looking at Lagos State, where the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Lagos has eventually been delivered, or has delivered judgment, I beg your pardon, in the suit that's challenging the election of the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Now, Labour Party's governorship candidate, Gbadebo Favour, and the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate as well, talking about Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, had initially challenged the victory of Sanwo-Olu at the March 18th governorship elections. But at the end of the tribunal, the incumbent governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was still returned as the governor of Lagos State. We have some scenes from the Ikeja High Court, which was compiled by me, Bernard Akede. We stayed in the court from morning all through the day to compile these clips. Do take a look.
The tribunal has delivered its judgment. It was quite a lengthy judgment. We are yet to get a certified true copy of the judgment. As soon as we get a copy of the judgment, we'll study the judgment, review it, and then advise our clients, accordingly.
I think that if you are inside the court, for the judgment took over 8 hours, you must be proud as a Nigerian. And for me, I'm not a lawyer, but the delivery, the eloquence, and the review of various cases is simple English. So it's very clear. I think the judges did a wonderful job.
The only thing that were contested, that remained to be contested, was whether or not the deputy governor could effectively run for office in Nigeria, having naturalized in the United States. And the tribunal went to town, reviewed all the provisions, and reviewed all the cases that had already been given on the issue. That the deputy governor, as a natal Nigerian who was born in Nigeria, had no disability at all in contesting for any office in Nigeria, in spite of the fact that he may have naturalized as a citizen of another country. Your rights as a Nigerian-born citizen cannot be taken away just by naturalization to another country.
It's been a long battle. We have represented him and the Labour Party in the petition filed by Mr. Aziz Olajide Adediran, known as Jandor. And the tribunal has delivered its judgment in that particular petition, upheld Mr. Architect Gbadebo Favour's preliminary objection, and struck out the petition as against him, and even as against the Labour Party. We have applied for that decision. We would advise our clients appropriately.
Well, those were clips from the court ruling compiled by Bernard Akede, my co-anchor. Now, joining us to have this discussion is a journalist, Adefunke Jaesimi. Thank you so much, Adefunke, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. All right, without wasting time, Adefunke, how do you think the affirmation of Governor Sanwo-Olu's victory by the Lagos Tribunal impacts the political stability of the state? Talking about Lagos.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So I was saying that how do you think that the verdict or the court, the affirmation by the court impacts the state as a whole?
Well, it's a well-populated state that has people across different political parties and political choices. And even though we have quite a number of people that were not totally in support or agree with the outcome of the election, no matter what the emotions are, the rule of law has to take its place. And I think that the only impact that has on Lagos State right now, and it's easy beginning, is the fact that you cannot cancel an election by being the loudest in the room. I think that's what it is, because both the suits filed by the People's Democratic Party and that of the Labour Party, in my opinion, did not even reflect what their followers are saying online. And I think that is a problem. So most of the time, if you don't align with what your principal is doing, you might think that there's something wrong with the judgment. But on the part of Lagos State is moving, and I think that the judgment was fair, in my opinion.
All right, let's look into the Constitution now. What constitutional precedents, if any at all, are set by the tribunal's decision in terms of gubernatorial election disputes?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but as a journalist with vast opinion and knowledge, I think that the Constitution has been well stated and represented. On the part of disqualifying the Deputy Speaker from running, the judgment was that the party has a ticket, and both governor and deputy governor are one person under that ticket, and that is what matters. That ticket of the All Progressives Congress won that election, and you cannot separate, except you want to cut or tear the ticket into pieces anyways, but that ticket won that election, and that has upheld the position of both the governor and the deputy governor. On the part of PDP's Dando, I think his price was, not aligning or not following the electoral law as reviewed in 2022, and saying that dates, the day of submission of their nomination, whatever, wasn't in line with the law. Well, INEC is still the umpire in all of this, and I don't think that you can know the law more than whoever drafted the law.
Okay, now, how do you think that this affirmation will influence the governor, talking about Sanwo-Olu's credibility and effectiveness as the leader in the eyes of the public?
Well, he's a governor. He's been there. It's not his first tenure. This is the second tenure. So I don't think that effectiveness would in any way be shaped or reshaped at this point. What I think that the governor needs to do is to continue to prove to the people that this mandate that you've given to me is for the purpose of service, and I will continually do that. The people of Lagos State have voted. The large population of those that voted in that election voted for Sanwo-Olu according to what the result states right now. So if the people have voted for the governor, whether a large number voted for him or not, politics is over, campaigns are done, governance is here to stay. And that judgment is just another reaffirmation to say that we've gone past the time of throwing jabs or being about what opposition feels or not. It is time to govern the people. The governor owes every citizen of Lagos State good governance. That is what he owes everybody. He might not owe them what his political affiliations are or what his party stands for or not, but as a governor, what he owes the people of Lagos State is good governance. And I think that is the only way you can hold him accountable, demanding good governance from the government.
Thank you. And finally, I want to ask this now, as journalists, definitely during the election period, we saw how very interesting, so to speak, that period was, where the ruling party lost the presidential seat in Lagos. APC didn't win Lagos, and I think, some have said that that's what jeered the party to actually win when it came to the gubernatorial elections in the state. But going forward, there have been lessons to learn. And that brings to my next question and final question. How might the outcome of this case influence future gubernatorial elections in Lagos and set a precedent maybe for electoral disputes within the region?
Truth is that you can't take electoral disputes out of elections. And this thing is not peculiar to Lagos or Nigeria. I think that the people let their emotions get the best out of them. The fact that you want or you don't want somebody does not validate the authenticity of the genuinity of that person. The last election was well contested. Like you said earlier, the presidential election sort of set a lot of things in motion. We saw the governor became everything, even an usher in church. That was quite embarrassing in my opinion. But the truth is, all of that is gone. All of that is gone. Who is the governor of Lagos State according to law right now? Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And I think that's the way to go. We just need to embrace it, whether you want to go to appeal court, Supreme Court eventually or not. If you have a valid point, why not go ahead? But if you need to go to court, you need to go with valid points, not just some emotional games or blackmail, in my opinion. From seeing the prayers of the two political parties, I just concluded that, this is too light. I don't know what jobs their lawyers were doing. I don't know what formed their decision to go that route. But in my opinion, They didn't take anything to court, in my opinion. And if you don't take anything to court, you can't get anything out of the court.
All right, Adefunke Jaisimi, thank you so much for joining us to discuss this issue.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, now we'll go straight to the forecast, looking into our crystal ball to tell you what to expect in the coming week, as we always do here on Report Desk Africa.
All right, now we're going straight to the, crystal ball or crystal screen, like we like to call it. And we're going straight to the United States. First of all, we're saying that the United States Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin met with Mozambique's President Filipe Nyusi to recognize his efforts in promoting women's roles in security and the fight against violent extremist group in northern Mozambique. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, also announced that the U.S. and Mozambique have signed a new U.S. $500 million US compact with Millennium Challenges, Corporation to develop infrastructure in Mozambique's Zambezi province, including a vital bridge across the Likungo River. Now, newly established Mozambique Connectivity and Coastal Resilience Compact is anticipated to bring about positive change in the lives of up to 57 million Mozambicans by fostering sustainable and inclusive economic growth.
Now we go straight to Liberia, where the citizens expressed concerns over forthcoming presidential election. Now, a new found that only a thing of respondents trust the National Elections Commission to manage a successful poll as Liberians prepare to vote on October 10. In the fourth election since the end of a country's devastating civil war in 2003, the voters will be choosing a president and vice president, 15 senators, and 73 members of the House of Representatives. 78% of respondents say that once an election is over, the losing side should accept defeat and cooperate with government to help it develop the country, rather than focus on monitoring and criticizing the government to hold it accountable.
And finally, we come to Nigeria, where Nigeria's new central bank governor, Yemi Cardoso plans to clear a vast overhead of dollars obligations and enforce compliance with all rules that pertain to an open and transparent foreign exchange market for investors. Now, Cardoso believes these measures will strengthen the fragile trust of foreign investors in the Nigerian economy and put the brakes on the Naira's free fall against the dollar. Cardoso is to address the backlog of unsettled foreign exchange obligations to local lenders, which he estimates could be as high as $7 billion US. And that is, these are the stories that we intend to be looking at in the coming week, as we call it, looking into our crystal ball to tell you what we just might be looking at in the coming week. Thank you once again. This has been Report Desk Africa. We do hope that you've enjoyed the show with us. My name is Bernard Akede. We hope that you join us again, same time, same station next week.
And I'm Blessings Mosugu. Thank you so much for watching.